Murray, you started to talk about the fact that the economy went south, and we know all about that. And you had a couple of developers that had purchased that area.
We have had 2 out-of-state developers pretty much in the last 3 years that have come through Sunsites, bought the golf course, bought a lot of residential land lots, and basically they wanted to develop the land into a higher density area. Everything was going fine until the market went south.
And they actually had permission to do that from the Cochise County, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. In fact, they got 175 acres rezoned, and it was approved by Cochise County. When the market went south, the developer, who had borrowed lots of money to buy all these properties, couldn't basically keep the obligations on his notes and his debt to the lender. So that's when the lender started foreclosing on the properties and eventually foreclosed on the golf course, and that's how we wound up with a golf course that was getting shut down.
It was getting shut down. They turned off the water? And
he was threatening to turn off the water. I'll defer to Doug.
Then that's what the community is all about,
yes.
Right? A lot of homes on the golf course?
It's built around the golf course.
Right, right. Doug, what happens then? The golf course is being shut down, no water, no maintenance.
Well, we could visualize the future, and it came within 10 minutes of having those electric meters pulled on the pumps so we couldn't water the golf course. And that put the village in a panic mode, you can imagine. We knew we had to do something because this golf course is right in the middle of town. Unlike many other towns, they'll have a golf course somewhere, but it's not part and parcel.
Now, you said you marshaled the forces. What did you do?
We literally started calling people on the telephone. An emergency meeting was held within a few hours. Many people turned out for that. We began planning on what we could do to forestall the inevitable. In a matter of about 3 or 4 weeks' time, we had another meeting, a public meeting in the school, and we asked if the community wanted to take on the responsibility of the golf course, because there was no question it was going to be shut down. It would become overrun with weeds and dying trees and just a tremendous eyesore in the village. And the community responded. That first night we raised about $12,000 in cash in a small community that is not an extremely wealthy community. And the next day people showed up at the bank. They started an account for us, and at 9 o'clock in the morning when the bank was opened, the parking lot was absolutely jam full. There was not a parking place to be had. Wow. And the story goes on.
And then you had money to purchase equipment with and make sure that the water bill was paid and all that.
And that's literally what happened there. We had to enter into a lease with the lender that had foreclosed on the property. Okay. So we leased the golf course for 6 months on behalf of the community. There was 7 people got together and formed an LLC, and that LLC took on the responsibility, the legal responsibility, to hold the lease. And it's in behalf of the community, and the community is supporting that arrangement with volunteer time, money, talents, as it might go.
So it was more than just money. They opened their pocketbooks, but they also are using their backs as well.
Yes, Murray knows all about that.
Oh yeah? Tell us about, we have some pictures of people actually working on the golf course while you were trying to get it in shape. And I guess the whole community turned out.
We basically had this community come together. We had one shot to pull this off. Everybody checked their differences, their egos at the door, and we were all able to basically join together in one complete cohesive effort to save the golf course, which also included cleaning it up. We met Saturday mornings, usually around 8:30. People showed up with whatever they had in their garage. If it was a weed whacker, it was a shovel, a wheelbarrow, a pickup truck. At one time, I believe we had over 80 people show up one Saturday morning. And if I'm correct, we did this 6 or 7 weekends until all 18 holes of that golf course and ponds, fairways, sand traps, everything was trimmed up.
Here's some people right here working on the golf course. We can take a look at the picture here. And looks like they brought their little four-wheel vehicle there and pulling
trailers.
Some kind of a trailer or something. Looks like a rest break here, huh?
Yes.
And the golf carts were turned into work machines, I guess, instead of a golf cart.
Yeah.
Other people working, cutting down trees, trimming trees, and then you have some lakes on the course, I see too, and cleaning up around the lakes. Yeah. And are they still working on it?
We have occasional volunteer work days, but they're not near as frequent right now. They're more of a maintenance situation as opposed to a full push to get everything cleaned up.
Okay. Now you said you're leasing this from the lender, who actually, I guess, owns the property at this point. What are you paying for the lease?
$1 a year.
$1 a year. Okay.
Yep.
What happens now if they come back in and they want to take it over again and they don't want to put the effort into it?
Well, we have the lease initially for 6 months because this was new water for all of us. In fact, it's such a unique situation that Sunsites is a very eclectic community with people living there from literally all over the world and all backgrounds. No one has ever heard of anything like this ever before in a community coming together to save itself. What we realized early on was that Big Brother wasn't there to take care of us any longer. The state of Arizona couldn't help us at that point. Cochise County couldn't help us at that point. The developer was gone. So we had to save ourselves, and that's what motivated people to see if we could do it for 6 months. We've pulled that off. It's been very successful. Now we have the option of 5 one-year rollovers on the lease.
Oh, good.
So we can potentially control it for the next 5 years. And in that lease, we've made an arrangement with the lender if he identifies a buyer for the entire project, that the buyer would come to us. We'd spell out the concerns we have as a community and the need to protect the core village of Sunsites from negative things that could occur with problems in all sorts of developments. And so that is in place. And so for the first time in about 40-year history of Sunsites, we actually have control of our destiny. One of the more interesting parts of the story, we only have 1 full-time paid employee and 2 part-time paid employees. The rest are all volunteers, including the entire golf staff in the pro shop. We don't currently have a professional, but we have many people in the community that are very experienced, quality amateur golfers.
And they're members?
And they are members.
Okay.
And they're providing golf lessons for newcomers that have not played golf before and other people that would like to improve their skills, and all of that is on a volunteer basis. So that's what warms our heart about the community. People have stepped up in every way imaginable to make our village succeed.